It's the International Soccer Preview. We are Soccerphiles Canada. Welcome to Series 30, looking at the players of the 2025 Gold Cup. This episode is looking at the players of Honduras. Part 1, the candidates. Here we go. On Section 3, where we welcome listeners who are just tuning in for the short version here. We're releasing a short version here. So I'll just tell any new listeners that in the full version, we introduced the candidates and their likelihood of making the final squad. We gave a bit of bio information on the more likely candidates, and we summarized each position and who has been occupying it basically since the 2023 Gold Cup. So for those just listening to the short version, you can go back and get all the details for the reasons for our prediction in the full version. And for those who have listened to the whole thing, this is a review summary. But as we've said throughout, we're not really concerning ourselves with predicting starters at this point. We're just really looking at the candidates and their likelihood of making the squad. So let's go back to the top of the list and review it. We begin with manager Reynaldo Rueda, current manager of the team, and he's been here since shortly after the 2023 Gold Cup. Goalkeepers, we have a definite candidate in Edric Menjivar and two likely candidates, Marlon Lacona and Harold Fonseca, and those will probably be the three because we have none at the possible level, and but we do have several at the possible but unlikely level. I'll only mention Luis Lopez because he was the starter for a while but lost his position after the first game in the 2023 Gold Cup and has basically been off the team since then. Not completely though, but he's possible but unlikely here. That's the goalkeepers. Let's move on to defenders and central defenders. We have a definite candidate in Luis Vega, and then four likely candidates in Daniel Maldonado, Marcelo Santos, Devron Garcia, and Raul Garcia. And we also have two possible candidates in Julian Martinez and Carlos Melendez. No one we really want to mention below that level. So let's move on to left backs. We have no definite candidate here, but two likely candidates. The first is Joseph Rosales, who's coded as a right midfielder, but has played left back mostly during this period, so we moved him back here. And we also have Franklin Flores as a likely candidate, and then two possible candidates, Javier Arriaga and Ellison Rivas. Over to the right back position, we have the return of Andy Najar, making a big return here, and a definite candidate. He's really coded as a right midfielder, can play upfield, but in this period has been a right back. There are no candidates at the likely level, but two possible candidates in Carlos Mejia and Christopher Melendez. And the only player I'll name below that is possible but unlikely Mailer Nunez, because he did get some starts during this period. So if anyone is going to make a comeback in this position, it will probably be him. Let's move on to the midfield. And we start actually with, we're looking at more defensive midfielders here, but we start actually with Jorge Alvarez, who is a definite candidate and has been all over the field during this period. In fact, he's, I think, playing as a forward in the most recent games. So we put him as a versatile midfielder here. He's really more of a central to attacking midfielder, I would say. And then strictly defensive midfielders, we have a definite candidate in Davy Flores and a likely candidate in Kervin Arriaga. And then three possible candidates, Carlos Pineda, David Ruiz, and Jack Jean-Baptiste. And we're not going to mention any of the six players below that level. Central midfield, we only really have one candidate here at the possible level. That's Brian Acosta, and he's pretty versatile, plays all over the field, but hasn't played that much during this period. Left and right midfielders, for players who have played a lot and are coded that way, we've moved them to basically where they've been playing a lot. They only use this position, the 4-3-3 formation, a few times here, and we don't really have any players playing in this position. When they use it, it's players from other positions filling the role. So we don't have any candidates at the possible level or above coded as these positions. So we can move on to attacking midfielders. Here too, we have a versatile player in Edwin Rodriguez. So we put him as a versatile attacker because he popped up in discussions in several positions in the attacking midfield. So Edwin Rodriguez, coded as a central midfielder, but playing more as an attacking midfielder. The left attacking position, which could be a winger, an attacking midfielder, or even a forward in a 4-3-3 formation. We have no definite candidates for left attacker, but we have two likely candidates. Luis Palma, who's actually coded as an attacking midfielder, and Jose Pinto actually coded as a forward. But those are the two players who pop up mostly here on the left attacking position. And we have two possible candidates, Carlos Mejia and Christian Sakaza. There again, not mentioning any of the players below that level. As a right attacker, we have the comeback of Romo Kyoto, coded as a forward, but coming back into this right attacking position for the last two games. And then we have possible candidate Rigoberto Rivas, who's also coded as a forward, but has been playing over here. I will mention one player below that level, though, seemingly off the squad, to my surprise, Albert Ellis. I'm personally hoping he'll make a comeback for this cup. Central attacking midfield, they do use the position quite a bit. Various players in it, though. We do have likely candidate Alexander Lopez here, and he's the only one we mentioned here, but other players have been playing in this position as well. Forwards, they have used the secondary striker position in a 4-4-1-1 formation in 4 games. That was around the summer of 2024. But it was generally central attacking midfielders or other players in the position. So we don't have anyone coded or particularly playing as a secondary striker. Let's look at the forwards then. We have no definite candidates. The position is a bit undecided, but we have 2 likely candidates in Jorge Bengucci and newcomer Justin Arboleda. And then we have 6 possible candidates in Anthony Lozano, sometimes called Choco Lozano, Eddie Hernandez, Rubilio Castillo, sometimes called Roman Castillo, Brian Roches, Douglas Martinez, and Juan Carlos Obregon. All 6 of those have been involved enough that we considered them possible candidates. And that brings us to the end of our review of candidates for the squad. So let us go to a review of injuries. So we have 2 players here. And the first one we put at the unknown, so unknown return date, that's David Ruiz. He is out. It's just listed as a strain, actually, so we're not sure what kind of strain it is, but he's been out since mid-March until the present, and he has an unknown return date. David Ruiz was at the possible level for us here, and we'll see in part 2, we may be able to update his likelihood of making the squad or whether he's over that injury. And then we do have a player who was at the possible level but is out of contention, and that is Carlos Melendez. He has been out with a cruciate ligament tear from all the way back in early November up to the present time. We're doing this in mid-May here, and he's not expected back until June 30th. So that is well after the tournament begins. So we don't expect to see Carlos Melendez, and he was only a possible candidate at that. Okay, closing thoughts. I'll just say towards the end in November and March, they did bring in a few new players and then left players off the team who had been on it for a while. So a bit of doubt created at the end there. Perhaps we'll get some clarity by looking at the two friendlies in June if we do the podcast after that. And that's all we'll say here. For some teams, some of the top teams, we're talking about whether they'll send their best players, but I don't think that's a concern for Honduras. I think their top candidates will come to the Cup. Okay, so we'll finish with a preview of part two. So part one, we've been concerned with the candidates and their likelihood of selection for the squad. In part two, we'll be a bit more concerned with who the starters will be. So we're going to go through our list again and let you know who made the preliminary and final squad. And we will emphasize any notable non-selections and also any surprise inclusions. I'm hoping one of those will be Albert Ellis. Any surprise inclusions and any new players, there's always a few who come onto the scene, and we'll update those injuries, especially the one for David Ruiz, and any new injuries that we learn about. That brings us to the end of our media cast. So I'll go back to the graphic here. We would like to thank Future Bass for the wonderful music you hear in this podcast. The title is called Alone.